So, what's up guys, I am BlackOpsAmazing, welcome yourselves back to another zombies video on the channel, back again with some more Black Ops 4, where today we are having an in-depth look and doing a breakdown of the Voyage of Despair zombies trailer. We are going to try and find out something about the storyline, these characters, the Easter eggs in this map, where exactly we're going, the date, everything in here we're going to look at in this video. As always, if you enjoy, you know what to do, drop a like rating. If you're excited, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Could we shoot for 2k likes on this video? I think we could just hit that. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest zombies content. Hit that bell icon as well, and of course, let's get into it. Here we go. So, as you guys probably know by now, from day one on the disc for Black Ops 4, we are going to be having 3 zombies maps. This is something we haven't seen before. Previously, we've only ever had a maximum of 2, but this time it's going to be 3, and they are called 9, Voyage of Despair, and also Blood of the Dead. I've done a video of Blood of the Dead already, which if you don't know is a remake of Mob of the Dead. If you want to check it out, I will link it down in the description. But today, we are going to be taking a look at the trailer for Voyage of Despair. And don't worry, I'll also do one for IX as well. But what's interesting is that on both of these maps, Voyage of Despair and 9, we are having the same set of characters on both maps. They are new characters, but we will get them on both maps. So we don't quite know as of yet in which order these maps will go. Does IX come before this one, or does Voyage of Despair come before IX? Which of those happens first? We don't know. Since we are using the same characters in both maps, that'd be useful to know, but we're not really sure. However, let's get into this. So we know that Voyage of Despair is going to take place on the Titanic. And not only that, but we also know it's going to take place on the date that the Titanic sunk. Now in real life that happened on the 15th of April 1912, so 106 years ago. So there's a very good chance that this map will be taking place in the year 1912. However, we do know that Treyarch can mess about with the timelines and change dates, so I wouldn't be surprised, but I believe it's going to be taking place on that date. As I said, we are also playing with our new set of characters. Their names are Scarlet, who is clearly the girl. Bruno is the big tough guy. He is the one on the far right. We then have Diego, that is the guy on the far left. And finally, we have Shaw, who is the old man, kind of in the middle next to Scarlet. So those are the names of our 4 characters: Scarlet, Bruno, Diego, and Shaw. Now we're not exactly sure what they do, but from what we see, you could possibly describe them as travelers or gypsies, but they're clearly also thieves, and they are on the Titanic to steal something. As we go through to this, we can see our characters on the ship, and the first thing we see is Diego steal a set of keys out of this woman's purse. Our characters aren't very upper class. Everyone on this ship, or at least most people on this ship, would have been of an upper class. So our characters like Diego here wouldn't have been used to mixing with people like this. But as we can see, he completes the first step of their plan. He steals the keys off this lady. He hides them in the pot behind him. He then takes this lady into a room to do, I would imagine, things I don't need to describe. But that is step 1 of the plan done. We then move on to stage 2, where Shaw collects the keys, which then gives him access to the Millionaire Suite. You can actually also see right here that Shaw seems to have tattoos over his arms. Right now they don't seem to have any relevance. I can't tell what they would mean, but probably in the future, as we learn more about them, his tattoos could have an important meaning. I don't know. But as Bruno and Shaw make their way into the Millionaire Suite, clearly at this point we find out who the strong guy in this is gonna be. Not that we could tell by his body, but I guess Bruno's kind of gonna be like the boxer from Shadows of Evil. But we then find out the reason as to why they wanted to make their way into the Millionaire Suite, and it was to access these pneumatic tubes. Now, pneumatic tubes were used on ships, and you can also use them on other things as well, but they're basically a network of tubes that would run through the Titanic that you could use for transporting objects. You'd put the object in the tube, it would get pushed up by compressed air, and then sent to a different location on the ship. What exactly is Shaw putting in these tubes though? What is he sending? Well, you can see what he's putting in it is this tube full of blue liquid. Now the first time I saw this I thought, 115 liquid divinium? Is that what it is? Because obviously it has that blue color, but as we see when it gets sent down to the cargo room and it's activated, all blue smoke gets released from it. But as with 115, you'd expect it to turn this guy that it releases on into a zombie, but it doesn't. It seems to kill him or knock him out. So it seems like this blue liquid is some sort of gas that is used for putting people to sleep or killing them. Yes, it does look like 115, but it doesn't seem to have those effects, so I'm guessing that's not what it is. I mean, maybe it is liquid divinium that they've experimented with, and instead of infecting you, it kills you, I guess. I just thought they could have changed the color of it if they didn't want us to make that speculation. Obviously they wanted us to think, is this 115, is this divinium? It doesn't have those side effects. It's not turning this guy into a zombie, so I assume it's not divinium. It's just some sort of lethal gas. So anyway, as we move on, this canister of gas was sent down to the cargo room. It released, it killed the person inside, and then they move on to their next step, in which Scarlet enters the room. You can see though, just before we carry on, around her neck is a very important necklace that we will see come into play later on, so just keep your eye on that. But once Scarlet is now in the room with the guard knocked out, she's clearly here to collect an artifact from inside of the safe. I mean, there is text on the safe here. Usually Treyarch like to hide little Easter eggs in their trailers. I'm not exactly sure, but Scarlet, using one of the mechanisms that she invented, breaks into the safe. But just before that happens, we move on to another shot where we see a hooded figure, and he seems to be doing either some kind of prayer or ritual. We can see there's all candles around him. He's in a dark area of the ship. He's got his hood up, and as we zoom closer, we can see on the table in front of him, he has pictures of all four of our characters: Scarlet, Bruno, Diego, and Shaw. He's highlighting the necklace around Scarlet's neck. He's also got a yellow sheet of paper on the artifact on the left there, and then also at the back there seems to be a blueprint of something. I'm not exactly sure what that is. It could be a blueprint of the ship, maybe. There's a red circle on there. That could be the location of where the safe is on the ship. But we're told as the camera zooms into this guy that Scarlet's father made some enemies during his travels, and what the characters are asking Scarlet is if she expects them to encounter any opposition whilst breaking into the safe to collect this artifact. So clearly Scarlet's dad has got something to do with this. It seemed like he was a traveler as well, and he was originally after this artifact that they are on the ship to collect, or at least he's got something to do with it. Maybe he's the inventor behind it. Maybe he originally stole it. Scarlet's father has got something to do with this artifact. It sounds like he did something bad, something wrong, which caused him to make many enemies and these people to come chasing after not only a father, but also it seems like these enemies that he encountered are now also after Scarlet. As we can see, this is clearly one of the enemies that her father come across, and he's here on the ship not only to collect the artifact from the safe, but also the one around Scarlet's neck as well. So it seems like Scarlet's father has a massive part to play. Maybe he was the one who originally started this journey after this artifact. He could be dead, he could still be alive, we don't know, but it now seems like Scarlet is carrying it on. Of course, that's just an assumption. We can see on this guy's head, he's obviously not normal. There's fire freaking coming from your head, dude. So someone should tell him that's a fire hazard on the Titanic. Not that it really mattered, but this guy's clearly not fully human. Has he been maybe messing with alchemy? Has it gave him some kind of power? I don't know. Does he have something to do with the keepers? Maybe the ancients? But as we keep going, the characters have now broken to the safe. They finally collect the artifact from it, but suddenly this person that was also hunting down this artifact comes out of nowhere. He steals it out of their hands. He also snatches the artifact from around Scarlet's neck as well, and then as you can see, when he combines both of them together, this then causes an outbreak of zombies on the ship. It makes a force field around anyone near the talisman, so it seems that everyone inside of it is protected from the infection outside, hence why the characters don't get turned. But you can see as soon as Scarlet punches this guy out of the circle, he gets infected and turns into a zombie. And this is the same thing that we saw happen in the map 9. We had the artifact and also the one from Scarlet's neck, and when you combine both of these two together, it seems to spread an evil energy all around it and turn anyone next to it into the undead. So does that mean that 115 no longer exists? Maybe it doesn't exist in this universe? Because clearly it's not 115 that's turning people into zombies. It's this artifact. But there are two pieces to it. It can't work on its own, only by combining both of them together, the one from the safe and the one from Scarlett's neck. Maybe that's the reason why she was keeping it around her neck, was to keep them separated, because she knew if they were to ever come into contact with each other, then it could cause great damage, and that's exactly what it's done. This person has combined both of them together, and it's caused an outbreak of the undead on the ship. We can then see this dark cloud start spreading around the ship. It looks like some evil energy, I'm really not too sure, but it affects everyone on the ship, the passengers, the crew members, the captain, the sailors. This evil spirit infection, that's just what I'm going to call it, spreads around the ship and infects everyone on it, turning them into a zombie. Everyone except our 4 characters who are inside of this invisible shield that it created to protect them. If you are inside of the shield, you are exempt to the infection from outside. And as we carry on, we see the infection spreading more and more, creating more and more zombies. What's interesting is when we come to this shot, it seems not only does this infection turn people into zombies, but it also turns them into objects as well. We see someone here get turned into whatever the hell this is. I've never seen this before. We've got some kind of like Viking holding an axe and a spear, and then we've got some dog statues by his side. I really couldn't begin to explain to you guys what the hell this thing is. It could have something to do with an Easter egg. It could be a new mechanic in game. Is this a new perk? Probably not, but I don't know what this thing is. What's even more interesting is if we keep going, we see even more people getting turned, but again, not into zombies, into objects, and this time they get turned into what looks like the mystery box. This, I believe, is the mystery box that we are going to be getting on Voyage of the Dead. It looks really cool and actually really freaking big, so that's awesome. Obviously there's no light coming from it, which is a bit strange, but to me that definitely looks like the mystery box. But we finish off, we can see the zombie outbreak has now fully infected the ship, and as always it's up to our 4 characters to fight off against the endless waves of the undead. We have Scarlett shooting them with her pistols. We have Bruno punching them with his freaking fists of iron. We've got Shaw throwing some kind of gadget at them. I don't know what these green balls are, but it seems whenever he throws them at the zombies, as soon as it impacts them, as soon as it touches them, they explode and die. So it looks like some new type of grenade or something. And then of course we have Diego stabbing some zombies in the head. Usual thing, you know, our zombies crew fighting off against the undead. And then finally we finish with them on deck. It looks like they're on their final stand, fending off the hordes of the zombies, and then bam, little did they know it that behind them is the iceberg that sunk the Titanic. We can hear the bell going off. That would be to warn the crew that there's an iceberg ahead, but obviously it's too late. You can see on the left there is a little life ring or whatever you call them with RMS Titanic written on it, and the giant freaking iceberg in the background. What happens next? Well, it cuts out. Are we going to hit the iceberg? Are we somehow going to change what happened? Are we going to change time so that it never sunk? Surely our characters escape if we're going to be playing as them again, so in some way they must survive. Either they escape off the ship on a lifeboat, or they manage to somehow save the Titanic. But that to me was super interesting. It didn't really look like there was any Easter eggs hidden in the background, like on the walls or anything, unless there was something I missed. But it gave us a really good idea for what the story is on this map, what we are going to be doing, and also gives us a good look at our characters as well. And I think I'm most excited for this map because, well, every map that we've had so far that's based off real life places or events, for example, Der Eisendrache or Gorod Karovi, Mob of the Dead, they are all my top 10, top 5 favorite maps. Maps like that always seem to be really good and just really interesting as well. So the fact that we're on the Titanic for me is really, really cool. But there we go, that is Voyage of Despair. So just a quick recap. Our characters are on the Titanic and they are here to collect an artifact that is in the safe on this ship. It seemed like it originally had something to do with Scarlett's father. He was previously messing about with it or trying to find things out about it that he shouldn't have. Clearly this artifact isn't for mortals. It isn't for normal people. The knowledge that they are seeking wasn't intended for mortals. And because Scarlett's father's gone messing into things that he shouldn't have, it seems like his daughter has now had to take action. Somehow this artifact has got locked up in the safe of the Titanic. Scarlet and the other characters are here to collect it, but as we saw, it's not only them who is after it. It's also this guy who I believe belongs to some sort of the Order of the Ancients. And knowing that Scarlet is here to collect it, and also the fact that she has the second piece of it around her neck, he takes it off her, joins these two pieces together, activates the talisman, and it then causes an infection, this dark evil spirit, to spread around the ship, turning everyone on it into either the undead or objects. And it's then up to our characters to fight off against the hordes of the undead as the Titanic is about to crash into the iceberg that sunk it. So there we go, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think? And also, if there's anything important that you think should be pointed out, let me know, because I'm pretty sure plenty more videos will be coming. But for now, that is my breakdown. That is what I've got so far for the story and these characters as well. I'm also going to be doing a video on IX, so stay tuned for that. Drop a like rating, make sure you are subscribed, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, goodbye.